What's up, guys? Welcome back to Track News Daily. It's your girl, Serenity. Today, I want to talk about track and field, obviously, but I want to discuss, does track and field have a momentum problem? And this was like when I was writing out my notes for it and my thoughts and yada, 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 I really needed to be unbiased, which is hard to do because track has been my life since I was 8 years old. Like I started running track at 8, and now I'm a reporter. So I've been in this. I'm 28, so I've been in this for 20 years. That sounds insane. 2 decades. So it's like it sounds insane, but it makes me biased, like naturally. Where what I think I know, or what I think I know, I think everybody else would know too. Simply because not simply because I know it, but because it's a big deal in my world. Let me explain. When I'm going to go down these things, we're going to talk about these subjects individually, but it's hard for me to grasp the fact that track is not the number one sport watched. Because I find it one of the most interesting sports, and I cover all sports. I don't just cover track. But to hear that some people only know about Noah Lyles, or some people can only name Usain Bolt, it's really, really interesting to me. And then to see all the people that pack out stadiums for track meets, but we still, like, that still doesn't even scrape the surface for revenue. It's a difficult thing for me to grasp because I see the love track and field gets. And I think that it does well, relatively, but to hear that, it might not be translating on the revenue side and the money side is a difficult thing to grasp. But starting us out strong, USA's in New York City. I was there. Did moving USA's to New York work? Normally it's in Eugene, Oregon. Eugene Hayward specifically owns the rights for USA Nationals, pretty much all major championships for like the next so-and-so years. It's a beautiful stadium. I personally love Hayward. The people who don't like it, I understand completely why they don't like it. A couple reasons. Eugene, Oregon is very difficult to get to. I was going to use a different word, but it's very difficult to get to. It has limited hotels, so that makes it really difficult for the athletes to find places to stay, for the spectators to find places to stay. I have known athletes to just, like, even outside of your normal Airbnb, literally stay in the house with people in Oregon. Majority of the time it's track fans, for them to open up their house to track people, while they stay in the basement, or like you stay in their guest house. They're completely fine with it. One, because yes, you're paying them, but like two, they're ultimate track fans. Like, oh my gosh, like they get to have X, Y, and Z athletes stay in their garage apartment or their basement, And while that's cool and homey and the tradition of track town, while that's fantastic, it does harm sport. It does. Because I live in Dallas, Texas right now. Let's take that for an example. If I wanted something to do this Friday and I didn't really have any plans, for instance, I went running last Friday and I was walking to the trail. I needed to park somewhere else, so I was walking up to the Katy Trail in Dallas, and I saw that everybody was going to the American Airlines Center. That's where the Dallas Mavericks play, and I was like, what's going on over there? I Googled it. Turns out there was a 3-on-3 basketball thing going on. That makes complete sense. And I could have very well, if I was dressed for it, after I went on my run, I could have just went in there, watched some 3-on-3 basketball. That's accessible. That's what you call accessibility. Track and field being in Eugene is not accessible. You are only going to appeal to track fans in Eugene. Track fans in Eugene are everywhere. In Oregon, everywhere. Absolutely it's there. But if the point is to grow the sport, you need to appeal to people not in the sport. Eugene appeals to people in the sport. Hosting it in New York, I believe, to a certain extent, appealed to people outside of the sport. Let's talk about Love Island. Sean from Love Island was there. Amora from Love Island was there to support Bia. And that would not have been possible if it was in Eugene, Oregon. You know what I mean? Imagine if I'm not even sure who would be in control of it. I really hate to do the pointing fingers game. But imagine if USATF invited, and they did, oh, I'm about to get to this point, invited well-known celebrities in New York. That's the way you do it. Appearance fees. And they did. Mayor Mondani. They did. I got to see the mayor of New York City, and that was absolutely, he sat in the stands and everything. It was absolutely crazy. He wasn't there for long because obviously he has like mayor duties to do. But that is how you bring eyes to track and field. That is not as possible in Eugene. Obviously, the mayor of Eugene could have come to track meets, of course. But the mayor of New York City is arguably the most well-known mayor in the United States. He has done great with his social media. That team has done a great job with him. He has obviously just gone strike the hearts of like New York City, and obviously New York City is like the heart of the U.S. if we're being completely honest. And then like with the Knicks winning, so all of it was just like he has clout. You know what I mean? And I mean, let's even take Athlos being in New York, because it's in New York, which is celebrity central. Now you can put more eyes on track. Now, I mean, Alexis has done it. He's inviting his friends. I don't know how it works. If he's paying these people appearance fees, that's not for me to worry about. But he's calling up his friends. Yo, come to this track meet. There's a business thing that I like. It's just a business thing. It happens all the time. Like, you don't got nothing else to do on a Saturday in New York City night? Come see, like, badass ladies run and jump down a runway. Like, let's do that. That is how you bring more eyes to the sport. So while Hayward in totality is a beautiful stadium, is it harming the sport? I hate to say that it's harming it because it's beautiful. Oh, if you guys could see it, it's beautiful. People who have not been, try to go. But it also is like very expensive to even get up to Eugene. So just all of these things are just under the accessibility clause to me. I really enjoyed it in New York. I did. I would have enjoyed it a lot more if the best of the best of the best athletes decided to compete. Now, there were great athletes. Sha'Carri competed, Noah competed, Melissa competed, absolutely. But imagine if, like, Ryan Benjamin competed. I know Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone just had her baby, but, like, if she competed, like, that would have been, you know? So that would have really helped, I would say. Now, another thing that I do believe can harm our sport. No worlds. Does worlds harm? No world. Does having no worlds, let me say that. Does having no worlds harm the momentum of track and field? Yes. Because track and field already has a momentum problem. I.e. what I just said. USA's in New York versus in Eugene. It's hard to follow. But the no worlds, I mean, it's always gonna be a 2-year type of thing, or they skip a year or something like that. That's always been a thing. Don't get me wrong. So maybe the problem is more so track and field shouldn't rely so much on championships. But what sport doesn't? You know, you don't see the NFL just skipping the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? They still have the NFC division and the AFC division championships. So that's like their conference. You know what I mean? Like, so they have the certain championships and they have their rivalry games and they have those things as well. But they're not just going to skip it. They're not just going to skip the Super Bowl. Our Super Bowl is Worlds. Our Super Bowl is the Olympics. Unfortunately, the Olympics is every 4 years. In Worlds, it's every 2. So I think it does. I think having no Worlds does harm the momentum. I can say yes to that. Because track, like I said, already has a momentum problem. Track relies solely on championships. That's just the way it is. We need it in the sport. It's how the athletes make their money. It's how like they have their fans. And I mean, it's how track and field is majority of the time being broadcast. Only the championships. Baseball has 119 games, give or take. Might be wrong, but over 100 games. And I want to say over half of those games are being broadcast on TNT, USA, ABC. Like, track and field is not. We have the NCAA championships, which is college, and then we have certain track meets like that have been broadcast on NBC. But imagine if that was a lot more. we would have a lot more eyes on us. And it's so, so frustrating when people like to say, well, when they start to make more money, that's when we'll start to broadcast them. Cause and effect. Maybe if you broadcast it more, it will make more money. When it makes more money, you'll start to broadcast it more and more. It's a cycle. Get me? Okay, let's transition. Rivalries in track and field are one of the most important things. You need to build a storyline. However, track and field, they don't really like to have a storyline. They don't. They'll have like their couple of rivalries brewing here and there, and then they'll let them fizzle out. Or the rivalries are not being fed. What feeds rivalries? Media does. And that's on us. However, the track and field does not embrace those rivalries. Those athletes do not embrace those rivalries. Us as media will peep a rivalry, we'll peep some beef, and then we try to dig for more comments, more this, more that, but the athletes don't lean into it. Who does lean into it? Noah does. Shoot, Fred Curley does. Even if it is a bit toxic, they'll lean into it. Yeah, I said what I said. Yeah, they're not going to beat me. Yeah, it's going to be this. Yeah, it's going to be that. I would say the women, they stray away from it. They stray away from it a lot more. If you peep some beef with women and then you try to address them about it, they're like, no, I just want to focus on myself. Well, duh. You just want to focus on yourself. Like, come on now. Come on. Of course you just want to focus on yourself. What else? What did you say about that girl? Let's talk about it. All right. And last and finally, are casual fans getting lost? Absolutely. Absolutely. Track and field is one of those sports where you cannot move the goalposts because you will lose people. I am watching basketball move the goalposts, but they are not losing fans because their fans are so rooted and so there that they're not going anywhere. Track is not the same. It's just not the same. I mean, and it's already the track fans, even outside of casual fans. It's the track fans, like the real fans, problem too. Because they're not gonna pay. They said, I'm not paying for Flow Track, even though it broadcasts all the Diamond Leagues. I'm not paying for it. I'm not paying for Runner Space. I'm not paying for these things, a Peacock subscription. I'm not doing it. They say no, which is valid. But they don't want to have all these subscriptions. But you know who does have all those subscriptions in the NFL? The NFL fans. They're going to have the Prime Video subscription. They're going to have the Peacock subscription. They're going to have the TNT Thursday Night Football subscription. They are. It's annoying. They complain about it, but they'll be there. And track fans, they will not. So then what do you think it says about the casual fans? They're already not there, and they already don't know where to view it. So they're never going to be there. So it's like, it just feels like it's this, so many issues. And look, I'm just a media person, and I'm just a spectator of it all. Like, I don't know. There is no one result. There isn't. There needs to be a wipeout and then a re-cleaning of it. Nothing ticks me off more than watching ESPN and seeing 13-year-olds playing video games. Or them having, oh my gosh, the championship tag is on ESPN too, and you couldn't have broadcast, I don't know, a track meet, the European Championships. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. They're having the ultimate tag challenge. They have eating contests on ESPN. Shout out to Joey Chestnut. But you couldn't broadcast a track meet? We gotta talk about some things. Man. We gotta talk about some things. I think track needs a place to live. A constant place to live. And stop moving the goalposts. Because that is how you lose people. And I think that is how you can gain people if you stop moving that goalpost. But also to the regular track fans, go where it is. And if you show that we are in that, then it could be there to stay. Like, these fights, Clarissa Shields, Floyd Mayweather, Jake Paul, pay-per-view. And they're paying for it, those fighting fans. They're paying for it. Even outside of those fans, they're paying for it. And they're going to sports bars and watching that fight. Do that. Like, let's start throwing watch parties at these bars. You know, I think there was one called Sports Brawl, and they did show track meets. So it's just so many things, and so many things to like think about and to digest. But it does not get fixed overnight at all. All right, y'all. I could talk about this forever. I really could. Because it is a problem. And I'm passionate about it. Love track. Shout out to track and field. And I know you guys love it too. All right, that's it. That's all. Make sure y'all continue to like, comment, and subscribe. Like, comment, and subscribe.